Alright, welcome to Bloody Bastards Basic Survival Training, or uh, haven't done this in a while. I did have another one recorded, but my commentary was all not put together, so I am going to attempt to do this disheveled thing again. Let's go to single player. Let's go to our invisible dummy, because our dummy is invisible in this version for whatever reason. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta turn on the touch points on the device and the visible joysticks so I can talk about what I'm doing. Now give me a minute to process what the hell I'm gonna say. My touch points on, I go click on my visible joysticks, and now you can see the joysticks and where my real thumb placement is. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, first of all, tap here to move right, tap here to move left. Triple tap to run really quick, dash over, and you can also double tap 3 fingers or double tap 2 fingers to kick. You can also kick this way, but I find it easier to time if you do it with 2 fingers on one hand. So I've gotten pretty good at spamming kicks. Anyway, we're not talking about spamming kicks today because it's kind of a lame tactic and I only use it when I have no other choice. But I've learned how to do it, and as a joke I might equip 2 shields and just do this. Just turtle up behind some shields and kick just to troll people. But that's a pretty weak tactic. That's some pretty weak meta. Anyway, we're going to talk about the meta weapons. I'm a two-handed person, so first of all we're going to talk about my favorite Kanabo. It's not the heaviest, it's not the most powerful, but it's very versatile. And when you swing, you want to keep thin ellipses very close to your shoulder to whip over your shoulder to conserve a lot of that movement. If you just go wide windmill, look at my stamina. You just spam windmills, you'll tire yourself out pretty fast. This guy's pretty lightly armored, so he doesn't tire out as fast, but if I was fully armored and I started doing this, I'd already be passed out. So thin ellipses, rest between strikes, in a guard position. Always keep your weapon in front of you when it's idle. That way, if your weapon's crossing their weapon or laying across them, this blocks a lot of incoming blows, because even this little knife, when you hear that ping, that's sucking out a lot of energy from that strike. And it's tricky, but you can also do a dipping strike like that. It doesn't have as much power, but it can reach over blocks. I like to do that too. So this is a very quick, versatile weapon. You can step into blows for power, you can step out of blows for power, work on mixing your footwork with your shots. So you want to practice like this. You want to do a lot of stepping back and forth when you're striking. So there's that. Let's get the bigger Kanabo. This is the meta one that everybody's using, and I'll get to the sickle and the shield in a minute. I'm talking with my throat because I'm in an apartment complex and the whole world doesn't need to know what I'm talking about here. So I'm kind of self-aware of what I'm doing here. Alright, so you got the bigger Kanabo. It's a lot heavier, doesn't swing as fast, but it is a little bit easier to control because you got more time in your swing to tweak it. But see how much quicker that tires me out. Of course, if I go wide circular swings, that tires me out faster. So you want to do good snapshots, lay it on them, back up. It's a lot easier to pull out of a, what would you call that? Pull out of a block and swing with the other one. You need a little bit more room with this one. If you're in real tight, you kind of raise it up, drop it on them, but that can be tricky. Alright, so there's that one. That's the one everybody's using. That's the powerful one. Alright, sickle and shield. Frickin' shields, man. Frickin' shields. All of them, even the weak ones, are frickin' OP in this version. So this is what everybody's doing in ranked right now. They're using that archer shield and the silver sleek sickle. Basically what they're doing is they hold it up in the air. If the weapon hits that bottom corner, it does nothing. If they hold it down here, the weapon hits that top corner, it does nothing. You have to hit this dead center to delete it. So you don't want to have your arm too high up where they can hit your arm, and you don't want to have it too low where your head's exposed. So somewhere right about here, in theory. I'm not a shield person. I don't do it a lot, but you can press people into the corner with a shield, and if you're a real asshole, you can fucking kick them like this while they're bound up. If they have a Kanabo, this is very effective against that. So they hold it in front of them, and the sickle is nasty. You can stab with it. I'm so not good at stabbing. I'm not a two-handed person that much anymore. I prefer the double-handed weapons, because I find spamming a one-handed weapon, it cramps my thumb up, because normally I'm ODing on caffeine and dehydrated, so I cramp up pretty quick. I just don't like shields, but this is the shield meta. It's probably the best plan if you want to advance, because it's very hard. It's very hard to delete this shield, to hit it just right to get rid of it. So if you got a long weapon and somebody's pressing you into a corner like this, you're gonna have a hard time. I'm not that good at it, so I don't use these. I might try using them, but I have an aversion to shields. I hate shields, and I hate fighting against them, but it's part of the game, man. It's part of the game. You gotta get used to it. Anyway, I'm gonna switch back to a Kanabo and kill the devil for a while. Should we get the big one? Let's get the big one. Get the big Kanabo. The big Kanabo. If this one's too sluggish, I might need to switch to the other. So, okay, so we'll open up a 666 character. All these 666 characters are spoofs of the devil, or Satan, or a demon of some sort, in whatever culture. So you open up this guy in the campaign, leave, and then you can enter survival mode, and instead of it just being random people from that campaign, you will fight this guy consecutively, and all 4 666 guys from each campaign you can do this with. It's like an Easter egg. It's pretty cool. So your progress is a lot more consistent because you're fighting the same guy, even though that their play style will change. Even though it's the same character, sometimes they have a different tactic if you fight them again. Like this guy, he's being pretty easy right now, but sometimes they just go freaking plumb wild and do all kinds of crazy shit. And me not having a lot of armor here, it's a little bit difficult for me to keep my arms safe. I got the Under Armour from Japan. That's kind of like mail. I think it's like a mixture of mail and cloth that covers your arms, but my legs ain't got nothing. So he's not doing a lot of leg attacks, so I got away with a whole lot right there. So I'm not warmed up, and my left thumb is sticking right now. Got a little traction on my left thumb. Normally what I do is I got a can of WD, and I'll squirt a little bit on my thumb and rub it on the screen. I know that's ghetto as hell, but it's what I do, and it keeps that movement smooth. And it keeps it from that jump, you know, like when you're rubbing on wet glass and you get that little squeaky, get the squeaky jumping. Helps reduce that. And see how his style changed a little bit more, and this weapon's a bit too sluggish to deal with him right now. Let's see if it changes up. Power hit, power hit, power hit, power hit, power hit. Come here, power hit. Notice anytime his sword is in the way, it parries the blow, and it basically does nothing. So likewise, that works for me also. If I have my weapon up high in front of me when it's idle, that will block a lot of shots. Provided he's not going for my legs. My legs ain't nothing. I don't have nothing on my legs except from spandex shit or some sweatpants or whatever the hell that is. Whatever the hell my drip is. But Yeah, this weapon can be challenging in close quarters. So if you're going up against a guy with one of these, you really want to hug and get under it where he can't maneuver it that well. If you back up and get scared and give him reach, you can get those power hits in that will absolutely devastate you. You definitely want to squeeze in and get like under the pommel of that thing where they can't do a whole lot. Because the more reach he allows me, look, he's already half health. What was that, 2 shots? So people complaining about this thing being OP, you just gotta hug it, man. It's got counters. It's got plenty of counters. If you got a shield and a sickle, you can destroy a less experienced guy with this thing. Or destroy a guy going up against this thing. Because it's a lot more awkward to use. Now, of course, the bots don't know better. They just give you room. Anyway, next time I die, I'll switch to the lighter one that I like more. It's not quite as powerful, but it's a lot more quicker and a lot more versatile than this one. And pay attention to my thumb movements. My dominant thumb is actually my left. The left thumb does the most work. This just tweaks, gives a little whip, and comes off the screen a lot. But when I'm swinging, swinging kind of like this. So my right thumb is tweaking my right hand to give it that little flick, but most of my power is coming from my left. And in between swings, I'm always resting up forward, resting high, or you get what I'm saying, all this throat talking, man. The smoker. Alright, where's my... Okay, go back to Japan weapons. Alright, the lighter, the hitting rod, the lighter Kanabo. Let's see how much more dynamic and quicker this thing is. This thing's a lot snappier. It's a lot easier to use at close quarters. I can pretty much roll into them, provided I stay away from them swords. It's a lot easier to get small snapping shots. Like that last little bop I did on his head, the other Kanabo's just too heavy to accelerate quick enough to do that. So this will definitely help you in tight spots better than that larger Kanabo. So this is one of my favorite weapons. So this might be a nice one to master. And it can be frustrating sometimes. Like I said, if that weapon touches any part of their weapon, it parries it, and it sucks a lot of energy out. Just as long as you have a lot of momentum in your swings and don't get wonked up like I just did there. It's tricky. It's tricky. Everything has nuance to it. You're not just going out there flailing. There's a particular form that your muscle memory has to conform to for the best damage. And it takes a while. You physically got to do it until you warm up. At least that's how it works for me. It's like, you know, just like you got to swing a baseball bat the right way, you got to swing a golf club the right way. It's the same thing with this game, you know, because it's not a button mashing combo deal. It's you actually, every swing has its own nuances. If your target's moving away, you're micro adjusting your swing to reach. If your target's moving in, you're pulling in your swing to hit with a sweet spot. It's just like a baseball bat. Baseball bat has a sweet spot. It's not the very tip, but there's a sweet spot on the bat that transfers the most kinetic energy into the baseball, or as far as a weapon, whatever you're striking right there, that's a good sweet spot. That wasn't the most powerful blow, but that was decent for what I'm doing here. It took out an arm. Don't get wrapped up. Don't want to outrun. You don't want to move too fast and outrun your control. You want to be you want every movement to count, especially with Kanabos, because if you get sloppy with a Kanabo or any of these heavy, large weapons, it'll definitely tax your stamina, especially if you're wearing armor. I'm very lightly armored, but if your stamina limit is below half with heavy armor, you definitely want to manage your movements and take a moment of rest when you're wrapping somebody up. Regain your stamina. Boom, look at that. Where'd that come from? I don't know. That was awesome. Let's do it again. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, we got into some crazy lunging shit. I didn't have a lot of health there. One more time. Bam, 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 bam. Stand there, please. Nope, don't do crazy shit. Just stand there. Give me an easy one, please. Bam, step into it. Bam, 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 bam. Normally what I do is I focus on the face, you know, like focus on the target, that my eyeballs, my thumbs, my muscle memory line up and put this thing where it needs to go. It's like riding a bicycle, you know what I mean? You don't pay attention to what you're doing to the pedals. You just ride the damn thing. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes if I don't play for a couple days, I lose my feel for stuff. But, you know, within 15 minutes of playing again, I'll start regaining it. So I'm doing reasonably okay with this guy if I just focus on what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. Now he's doing some crazy bot shit. Bots like to swing both weapons at the same time, which is very effective. Most people don't do that. They block with their support weapon and they swing with their other weapon. But a bot will swing both weapons over their head, and that brings a lot of momentum to where it's going. Alright, let's see if I can do 5 here. Okay, that did nothing. Oh. Rest. Should I go for a headshot? I missed. Rest. Boom. Boom. No. Back out. Get out of there. Get. Back up. That's right. His stamina is depleted because his arm is broken. That was a new thing that came with the last couple of versions. I hated it at first, but maybe it brings a little bit more realism. Okay, can I do 5? If I do 5, I'll quit. Every time you hear a ping, that's a parry. You notice I do very little damage when it's parried. So I try to take advantage of when his face is open. That was an easy 5. Can we do 6? No. Back up. Also try to keep your weapon high, because if it gets wrapped around his waist like that, he's striking over it, then you got to back out to free your weapon. And that's a killer also. But notice I'm resting my weapon on top of his shit between every swing. And that's the way I've been playing. People play this a lot more than I do, put a lot more hours into this than I do. All those ranks above gold, they pretty much everybody puts more hours into this per week than I do. But it's a little bit of what I know. If you're a beginning player, well, maybe this is not for beginning player, but it doesn't take long to grind through the campaign and get a hold of these weapons. But this is my favorite weapon. I'm not going to say it's the best weapon, but it's the best weapon for me. The big one's pretty cool, but I like this one because it's a lot spiffier than that one. Of course, I didn't really go into sickles and shields because that's not my cup of tea. That's not what I do, but that's very effective too, and very difficult to go up against with these Kanabos. So Kanabos ain't meta, dude. You just got to know how to counter them, and you got to know how to use them. So don't get mad at them when somebody knows how to use them and just kills your ass. Anyway, this has been a Bloody Bastards basic survival training video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have fun, don't die.